Hey folks, welcome to the channel. If you're new here, then welcome, and if you're a regular visitor, look, thanks for coming back. Quick recap of what this sequence of videos is about. This week I've made it my mission to get my Strava Powler's Local Legend back off Alan Bellew, the Terminator.
Saracana.
Alan Bellew, who's local here, decided that he was going to take it off me when I was at Mallorca, and he didn't just put a few loops on me, he put nearly 21 loops on me, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's nearly 440 miles. So a mate of mine challenged me to take it off him this week, and that's what I'm doing. Now I know you've seen those windmills a lot, but the wind's changed again, so I've got a nice little tailwind which should push me home on each loop. Fingers crossed that stays with me all day. Just dawned on me when I'm riding around, I have seen no one else on the bike other than Neil, who met me on day 2, and I've just bumped into Chritsian Bird, who's local, and he's riding around Powler's. We've already had a bit of a chit chat, but I'm going to introduce you to him. He's going to tell you what he's been up to.
Yeah, so I was just riding around, bumped into Simon. He said he needed some company. He's getting lonely. So it's the first time I've seen him. I haven't seen him so much this year, but I've been doing some endurance races, some ultras.
Have you just come back from?
So I've just come back from riding the PCR, the Pan Celtic race.
Ah, how was that?
Oh man, it's so hard. I mean, I thought it would be hard, but it was like 10 times harder than I thought it would be.
So what's the Pan Celtic for everybody that doesn't know?
The Pan Celtic is a series of races. This was the 5th one, and the aim of them, the basis is to visit all the Celtic nations. So this year it started on the Isle of Man, and then went up through the Lake District, west coast of Scotland, onto Mull, and then around Skye, and back finishing at Inverness.
Right. Thanks, mate. Good to see you.
Might see you tomorrow.
I might see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
2 laps left, I hope.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Good to catch up.
Yeah.
I'll say it again. Respect, man.
Cheers, mate.
Ta.
Yeah.
That was really cool to ride with Christian and hear his stories from his ultra endurance race. It sounded proper tough, and listening to his stories about the midges, whoa, not much fun by the sound of it. But I'll say it again, super kudos to the man, because what he just did sounded super tough. One of the things Christian and I chatted about was nutrition, because he saw my Instagram post about coaches prescribing fasted rides for fat loss. And if we step away from that, because we know that's not the greatest strategy, I was saying what fasting riding does is it helps augment or up-regulate the adaptation to the aerobic training. Or I should say, it could help, because the data on it is either for or against it. So it's a bit wishy-washy really, and no one's ever really fundamentally said this really works. And really, what's the point in trying to do fasted rides if your nutrition is not on point, your sleep's bad, you don't have a really good lifestyle, and your training's rubbish? It's just basically putting a sticking plaster on a massive gaping wound. It's totally pointless. As I'm riding up here, I'm thinking I've eaten my normal amount of carbs, so about 50 to 60 grams of carbs an hour for this whole of this challenge. I feel really good, my legs feel really good. I don't ever feel leggy. I don't feel like I've run out of energy. Well, I've had to push a little bit because I've got a lorry behind me and I need to pull in. I've had the ability to thump it a little bit and then pull back. Carbs are good. Last time I'm going to see that today, lap 5, heading home. well, I put in 5 cheeky laps instead of 4 that I'd planned. Felt really good on that last leg, so I just pushed the pace up a little bit because it looks like it's going to start raining. But Garmin's telling me I've done 110 miles in 6 hours and 31 minutes, which is ace. I've got 2 more loops to do, unless of course player number 3 comes into action, which I don't know anything about. I'll get my local legend back tomorrow. I'll be honest, I'll be glad when that happens. It's the last day of my Strava Local Legend Paula's Loop Challenge to get it back off Alan Bello, who put a massive 22 loops in front of me. And well, if you've not been watching and you're just new to this series, that is over 440 miles. And in actual fact, it's a little bit more than that. I think by the time I finished it, because it's a fair distance from my house to the start of the loop, I'll have done nearly 540 miles in 7 days. But it's been a brilliant challenge. I won't lie to you, I'm tired, and I'll be very glad to get this done. I'll be very glad to get the local legend back. It's supposed to be a bit of fun. It's definitely a challenge, and I am tired now. But I've got some mates turning up today, and they're gonna just ride with me, and we're gonna chit chat. So, just got a couple of leaps to go. I'm gonna be very glad, as I've said, to get this done. So I've got Chris and Calvin with me, doing a couple of loops to finish off the challenge. This is the instigator, Calvin Leach, who was daring me to do the challenge. And he's riding a really rather nice Colnago. How long have you had that?
A couple of years.
Yeah.
Don't ride it much. It's too nice to ride in the rain.
Yeah.
So it only comes out when it's dry.
It looks beautiful. What's it like to ride?
Lovely. Silky smooth steel. It's a 1990 Colnago frame. It was the last one they made before they went over to carbon fibre. So it's quite light.
Yeah.
But it's just really smooth and very comfortable.
Last time past Stibbs Cross. Woohoo! That was super cool of Kevin and Chris to do the last couple of loops with me today. And really nice to have a good chat with Chris with a decent coffee and cake. Now I'm gonna head home and upload, so fingers crossed I don't have to go back out and do the one more lap to get the legend. I think I've calculated it right. You never know though, my maths is pretty rubbish. Right, it's the next day, and you may have noticed, if you've been following my challenge from start to this video, that I got some of the loop numbers wrong. Yeah, Alan got a massive lead on me doing the local legend on Paolo's loop, but I think because it runs over a 90-day rolling period, it actually started to elongate the number of times I had to go around to get it back, which is, so when I first started, I thought it was between 21 and 22, but in actual fact, it turned out to be 24. So the stats were, I rode 551 miles, which is way over what I originally thought I was gonna do, climbed just over 36,000 feet, and total riding time of just over 31 hours in 7 days in a working week, just to get a Strava Local Legend back. How many 53-year-olds do you know that just do that for kicks and giggles? But the cool thing is I got my Strava Local Legend back, and do you know what? If someone wants to take it off me, crack on, because I'm not doing that again. Seriously, I'm not. Righty, that's it for this week. If you've enjoyed this sequence of videos, got anything from them, or found any of the educational nutritional stuff that I've been talking about helpful, do me a favor, hit like, and then look, write a comments in the box below. I'm trying to grow this channel out, so any interaction that I have is always really good for the algorithm. Righty, look, I'll be back in a couple of weeks. Cheers.